Hi, I'm Tom Tancredo. I'm a congressman from Colorado, and I want to tell you that the video you're about to see is true. I also want to tell you that immigration and immigration reform are on everybody's list right now as a top issue. The elected leadership here is doing more, I think, than they've ever done before. And I want you to keep their feet to the fire.
Go back to fucking Arabia, dude. They said, nigga.
Go back to Europe.
The federal government promises to control the flow of illegal aliens into our country, but they keep coming and coming and coming. Our government's broken promises are evident in broken and inadequate border fences and makeshift barriers that keep no one out who wants to come in.
Now that's the border, and it's wide open because it's an aqueduct there or something, right? Yeah. I mean, who needs a fence? But what are you going to do? Block it off with a fence and then the water can't get through?
Dedicated agents of the U.S. Border Patrol want to control the flow of illegal aliens, but higher-ups prevent them from doing so. Here in California, Border Patrol vehicles sit on a parking lot instead of patrolling the border. The border stays open because vested interests in business and politics want it left open. Amnesties, which reward illegal aliens with legal status, invite more border crossers.
I've got some friends that live right on the border. They're Mexican-American people, very good people. The reason they're coming into the United States is because they heard that George Bush is going to grant them amnesty. And I've also talked with the Mexican people down in Mexico who are planning on going into the United States. Would give them dual citizenship in two countries. They could live in the United States, work occasionally, cross the borders whenever they wanted to. They could go back down into Mexico and live relatively inexpensively. And whenever they needed more money, they'd come up in the United States, work, go back into Mexico to live. They could retire in Mexico, live a pretty good lifestyle on a minimum amount of money, and collect Social Security from the United States as a U.S. citizen. They would be getting the best of the two worlds. They actually don't want to be American citizens, but they figured that if they were to be granted this blanket amnesty, that they would take advantage of President Bush's offer.
For American ranchers and others living on the border, the illegal alien invasion is nothing more than low-level terrorism.
Well, mostly what I have seen is my pump house had 38 people in it at one time, and they broke all my pipes, and it took me about a day and a half to repair those. They cut my hose and let the water run, which burns up my pumps. They litter my property with trash. They cut my fences. They desiccate on my porch. I understand that they're still human beings, but they have no respect for us whatsoever, and now we're being told by the Border Patrol and the sheriffs that the element that's coming through now is a criminal element and not people looking for work. And that scares me, and it scares this whole community down through here. I have some friends that have lost horses due to them being killed. Others have been horse-napped and actually had to go back across the border and steal their own horses back. We've had cattle that were killed and just hunks cut out of them, and the rest allowed to lay there and rot. When they say that the illegals don't have civil rights, They shouldn't have civil rights. They should have human rights, but not civil rights. Members of Congress, you should come down here and look at it for one thing. Secondly is, have the Border Patrol be on the border, not on the highways. You guys spend a lot of money to have the military cut a road right along the border, and you never see Border Patrol there. Secondly is, don't be so naive in thinking that you can catch these people in cars and ATVs. You need horses to do it, because these people run into ditches and they can hide in the bushes, and the minute they hear the diesel engines or the ATVs, they hide. With a horse, they're not going to hide. You're looking down on them. You guys can ride down into the ditch and get them, and on top of that is you're not making the noise.
The United States has a large and growing population of illegal aliens, estimated at 12 million. 60% are Mexicans. A Zogby poll in 2002 conducted in Mexico found that 58% of Mexicans believe that our southwestern states properly belong to their country.
As a result of a massive illegal alien invasion, millions of Mexican nationals are flooding our nation and bringing with them this ideology. The children of these illegal aliens, newfound American citizens or anchor babies, are learning through organizations like MECHA in our public schools and universities that this land was stolen. That is their ideology. They believe that this land was stolen and will be reclaimed. Illegal immigration is the fuel for Reconquista. As their strength in numbers grows, so does their aggression.
SOS! Fascist hit! SOS! Fascist hit!
Radicals in the Southwest want to use illegal immigration to detach that region, which they call Aztlan, from the U.S. A group called MECHA has chapters on many campuses in the Southwest.
At the time that I was a senior in Belmont High School, Los Angeles, California, the members of Aztlan, the Brown Beret movement, were trying to recruit me. It was a movement primarily for those Mexicans of brown or Indian blood, and that there was nothing in it for Europeans or whites. Once I understood that my background was essentially that of being European, since my ancestors are Spaniards, I did not qualify, but they also understood that I did not want to participate in what was basically a hate-driven agenda that they were promoting in trying to take back the Southwest from the United States. They have communist leanings. They think that Fidel Castro is a great man, but obviously they don't open up their eyes and see that he has laid the island of Cuba to waste.
Okay, so you think La Raza and MALDEF are all interconnected?
They're all interconnected. Unfortunately, I come to find out that they receive grants from the Ford Foundation, yes. Some people even told me that the U.S. government gives some of these people money. America has to wake up because our way of life is disappearing quickly. But we have seen that our government has absolutely failed us and is asleep at the wheel as it was during 9/11.
In recent years, radicals have become increasingly vocal.
Death to the redneck!
He's a big gringo killer! Yes!
In 2005, American citizens in Baldwin Park, California, protested a monument which indicated that California was Mexican land. This was the response from radicals.
To drop on the Jewish shithole called Manhattan.
America is at a crossroads with illegal immigration. Fortunately, Americans in growing numbers are rising to the occasion. In April 2005, citizens went to Washington to lobby and make their views heard.
They're from all over the country. Many of us have brought listeners with us who have paid their own way to be here in Washington to lobby for securing the border now.
These people at this rally, and we have 400 people who've paid their own way to come here and lobby. These people are the tip of the spear, but everybody back home has got to be emailing, writing, phoning their congressman, their senator, secure the borders now. And it'll happen.
Washington was not the only place where citizens were taking action. Citizen volunteers calling themselves the Minutemen have deployed on the border to report the movement of illegal aliens to the Border Patrol. Alerted by Minutemen sponsors, Border Patrol agents respond to an attempted border crossing by a masked illegal alien. In apprehending him, they find others to take into custody. Agents credited the Minutemen with stemming the flow of illegal aliens. In Washington, Minutemen leader Chris Simcox promised that the Minuteman movement would grow.
If the president won't do it, we will. And when our government does not respond, we pick up the slack. If we want to be citizens of a free country who control their destiny, we must act like citizens. The bottom line is, freedom isn't free. This is a no-compromise situation. You will secure our borders. You will do what we tell you to do, or we're going to do it for you. No exception. We banded together. At this point, we've assisted Border Patrol with over 5,000 assists. This is not about poor migrants coming for a better life or to work. This is about national security. It seems everyone in the world knows how to get into America. You come to Mexico, and if you have enough money and enough connections, you can slip into this country. We're no longer the silent majority. We're the active majority. And it's time to secure the borders.
But our broken southern border is not just a concern in the Southwest. Illegal migration is having an impact even as far away as the state of New Hampshire. There and across the entire country, state and local officials are taking the initiative to deal with the problem. A proposal under consideration is arresting illegal aliens on the charge of trespassing, despite a recent adverse court ruling. New Hampshire police chiefs have drawn national attention for their actions against illegal immigration.
We've had several situations involving illegal aliens and a lack of response from the federal government, ICE Division, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Our first situation occurred last July 2004, where we came in contact with a van load of illegals, 9 to be exact, from the country of Ecuador. They admitted to us in a roadside conversation that they had been smuggled into the United States by a human smuggler or a coyote, paying up to $10,000 apiece to be brought into the United States. We contacted Immigration and Customs Enforcement, relayed this information to them, and they told us point blank that unless these people had been convicted of a crime or previously deported, that they had no interest in taking custody of them whatsoever. If someone's willing to accept $10,000 from someone who's coming here just for the purposes of a better life, how much are they willing to accept from someone who's going to come to this country to do great harm to us?
It seems that we can use billions of American citizen tax dollars to secure the borders of Iraq with no problem, and yet our own borders are porous, totally porous. There have been more than one terrorists and, of course, hundreds of thousands of drug smugglers coming across our borders with no defense.
I believe that what has happened is the federal government and employees of TSA, etc., are so afraid of being accused of racial profiling that they're allowing people to pass through the system that maybe should be further scrutinized. What the Congress, law enforcement officers across the country need to know is that the card is fraudulent. It means nothing. There are many American citizens who carry matricular consular cards. You can buy them for $50. We need to first get control of the borders. Then we can start controlling interior enforcement. But to round up people in the United States who are here illegally when the same number replace them on a daily basis is ineffective. There's over 700,000 law enforcement officers in the United States, and I believe that nationwide we could have a significant impact on the number of illegals in the United States.
According to INS, 500,000 illegal immigrants enter this country each year. 5%, that's 25,000, which is a population of my community, commit felonies when they're in this country. That is a serious concern for all law enforcement. And until there are immigration reforms, this problem will not get better, it will get worse. And I think Congress needs to pass laws that are going to allow this to be not only an INS or an ICE problem or responsibility, but it's a law enforcement issue. Who better to identify illegal immigrants in this country than the local police who come in contact with them daily? I think everyone forgot about what 9/11 was all about. It took 5 years to plan 9/11, and we're constantly under threat. And as long as we leave our borders wide open, it'll happen again.
Congress has passed legislation empowering local police to assist immigration law enforcement. The U.S. Justice Department, under former Attorney General John Ashcroft, affirmed the inherent right of involvement by local police. Furthermore, decisions such as the 2005 Supreme Court ruling, Mueller v. Mina, uphold participation by local forces. An innovative step by Canyon County, Idaho, against illegal immigration is using the RICO Act to sue local businesses.
We have progressed with that through the exploratory stage and filed complaints against 4 entities in Idaho in Canyon County.
I understand you sent a bill to Mexico for the costs incurred by illegal aliens in your county. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. It was $2,009,315.07, I believe. If they had acknowledged the bill, then they would have to acknowledge the strategy of invading the United States economically with millions of illegal aliens, and they're not about to do that. Well, at the time it was from costs of individuals that were held in our Canyon County, Idaho jail, and certainly through application for indigent medical welfare costs. My grandparents came from Mexico in the early 1920s. They came across legally, I might add.
Have you ever been called a racist because of your views on illegal immigration?
Oh yes, I've had that charge leveled at me, also bigot and discriminatory, all the other epithets that the left uses in their attempts to coerce people into a politically correct mindset. You know, if they're accusing me of being racist because I'm turning my back on Hispanics, I point out to them that there is no such thing as Hispanics. Hispanic is a term that was created in Jimmy Carter's administration, and its definition is having origins in any of the Spanish-speaking countries. So when they talk about racism, how can one be racist against a race that doesn't exist? Take your oath of office seriously. You can follow and use the law to enforce immigration issues, whether or not the federal government is inclined to do so. The actions that I've taken could have been taken by any county commissioner. They could have been taken by any state legislator. Certainly the governors are able to create a state immigration enforcement force. They've chosen not to. So it's up to local government and citizens who are concerned about the security of the United States, our national sovereignty, and the very existence of this country to take a stand.
Once again, America stands at a crossroads. One path leads to lawlessness, and its ultimate destination is balkanization and anarchy. The other path is the path to a renewed nation, strong and proud. It is the path of committed citizens, no longer the silent majority. Now, we're the active majority.
I'm Jim Gilchrist, founder of the Minuteman Project. I hope you enjoyed AIC's video on the illegal alien crisis that threatens U.S. sovereignty and its rule of law. If you would like more information, please contact AIC or the Minuteman Project at minutemanproject.com. Thank you, and please join us in taking action to protect and preserve our country